Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing God of War Ascension on Titan difficulty, and this is my No Upgrade Run Plus. We're currently on chapter 20 of 30. It is entitled The Gauntlet of Apollo. So this is the first brief checkpoint here. You don't want to use your magic here, and the reason for that is because it is so brief, and it will end shortly after she throws the Magera, that is. She throws a soldier at you, so this is a boss fight in two segments. You'll have the Magera fight, and then you'll have the Tessephany and Magera fight. So this is a run where I switch from the shield to the javelin out of convenience, because at some point after the next two checkpoints, she's going to be on different roofs, and while there is a way that you can preserve your shield, not use the javelin, just for convenience's sake, I decided not to do that. I'll tell you how to do. I'll tell you generally how to do it. I don't know exactly, but I'll show you what you can do if you want to hang on to your shield. But the bottom line is, the shield is not that essential to the coming things that you. If you want to go to the trouble, though, you can. So this is the first checkpoint. To get to the next checkpoint, you have to do two segments. The first segment is difficult because it's awkward. It's in a very narrow quarter. And just make sure you don't get hit by that soldier. And here starts it. I should have used magic, but I decided that since I'm using the shield plume, magic is more of a luxury, and I wanted to just use the shield plume, get things done with that, and not rely on magic. So this is a no damage video and no magic video, but it's really not as hard as you might think. So I'm going to get you through this part. So the thing here is, soldiers that are left in this phase will carry over to the next phase, and remember, there's no checkpoint. However, even though they're not infinitely spawning, you want to kill the majority of them first, and then carry over about 1 to 2 of them if you can. And then as the fight starts, you're probably not going to kill them all as I'm not going to say as well as I did it here, because I didn't really plan that. It just happened that the lackeys were taken care of just at about the time the fight started over here. But you don't want a bunch of lackeys hanging around over here, just lurking around while you're trying to deal with Magera. So I would actually, on the previous fight, on previous phase, use magic on the group of them. That will put them down significantly to about 2 to 3, and then just work on Magera. And as you're trying to work on her, the other ones should get killed off by and by. So it starts off like with 10 of them, and then if you can get them down, if you kill them all in the previous phase, they'll pop up incrementally. It's not going to spawn another group of 10, but it will spawn like another group of 3 to 4. Maybe 5, but the idea though is to get them out of the way as fast as you can so that you can work on Magera here. Okay, so her main string is a 4-hit string. 1, 2, 3, 4. If she cannot make contact with you, the string will stop and she'll start it over. But everything that she does here is blockable. Now she does a grab, and that can't be blocked, but it's a situation where you want her to grab you as many times as you can. So every time she does grab you, you can't control it though, but every time she grabs you, just think of it as a little blessing, because it's an easy button press is all you have to do, and you deal her damage, you receive no damage, and it's a simple process. So you can use the amulet on her if you want to. Just remember that certain times, if she's coming off of an attack when you freeze her, if you're even around her, sometimes the lingering damage that you would receive, you still receive the damage even though she's frozen. So just be really careful, and mainly do the shield plume. If you want, you can do the plume. The shield plume is safer, better, faster, and stronger. Bottom line. Now the 4-hit square attack, be careful of that one because it has a lot of recovery. And if you see me doing it, It's just because I was taking a small risk on the spur of the moment. It's not like the S4 move is going to garner you a ton of damage. The most damage you'll receive on her, she'll receive is the shield plume for your purposes. On this though, it's going to slow you down a little bit, but just ignore the slowdown and wait until she's about to hit the ground. And then even though you're in slowdown, just jump as much as you can. By the time you're in mid jump, you should be out of the slowdown. But she does tend to go on the roof and do that to you. Now, I don't go whole hog with shield pluming, and the shield plume is not me trying to build a quick combo. The shield plume is just me doing it because it's a quick move that deals a lot of damage and has not much of recovery to it as opposed to the standard plume. Okay, so since I'm not building combo, I'm not going at her ferociously afterwards to try to get my combo all the way up so that I can do the Captain Planet glitch. You'll notice that the Captain Planet glitch was never used on this segment. Not because I'm trying to be reserved and not damage her too much. It's because it's too much of a risk. I don't want to take that much of a risk, because if I get hit here, and even though you might not be trying to do it no damage, I have to go back to the previous segment because I'm trying to do it no damage. Okay, so I think that's it. She does have a pretty fast 2-hit combo that you need to watch out for. So I mainly attack after her 4-string combo right there. So you'll always see me attacking after that with either SSSS, which I think I only did twice, or T or ST. Did you see a moment ago she was about to grab me and then she didn't? That's the game not working right. It's a broken something that happens, because she's supposed to transition into this, but sometimes your placement will cause her to not go through with the grab, and it's kind of weird. I had one fight where she only grabbed me one time, but she should in the course of this grab you like at least 10 times. And it's a test of patience here. If you can be patient, you can probably do this if you have the correct knowledge of when to attack. So basically, after the 4-hit combo, that's when I attack. That's when I'm comfortable attacking the most. And when she taunts too, that's a great opportunity to go ahead with your moves. But I don't think she taunted very much in this fight. It's just up to what happens in your fight. But yeah, definitely the problem about this whole thing is the transition and having those lackeys around, because they take a lot of damage. SST is probably the best move to use on them, but SST is not very safe, so you want to use well, I should say that the shield plume probably would sometimes, see, the shield plume, it takes a little bit longer to come off than the SST, but if you don't have that amount of time, the SST will do good for you, hopefully. But once you see health and magic come out of her, you'll have this next checkpoint, and this is it's a brief section, and we're going to be giving up our shield over here. Now, I mentioned that there's a way to hold on to your shield. If you can hit her from below with your weapon, you can do that, but it's awfully hard to do that. And one of the ways you can do it is you can freeze her, and when she comes forward a little bit, you can hit her with aerial T attacks. But it's too glitchy and too bothersome for me. I just don't like to do it. I've never done it, but it looks very something that just takes too long for what it's worth. But all you have to do there is just throw the javelins at her. I thought I had more than I actually ended up with over here, because I ended up with just one javelin, but I thought I had 10 or 12 or something. I was looking at L2. I thought L2 was 12, so I messed up on that. This is always circle, X, square, triangle after this. Didn't we already do it? Yeah, we must have already done it. But it's always that combination of button presses. And then we'll have the mini game right over here, and then we'll go into phase 2. So yeah, it should start right over here. So get ready. I would have the Hades element is a good one to have, but it doesn't really matter what you have. This now is the second half of the boss fight, and it starts out with a demon minigame, which you shouldn't have too much problems with. When I say that, it's just that thing, it isn't the easiest to see when it's coming back towards the screen, indicating that it's telegraphing its attack. So if you do get hit there, you can just reset if you don't want to take the damage right there. But now we have the fight with Tessephany and her bird. This is probably, I would say, the harder of the two phases when it's post that Magera section. It's mainly because of the string of attacks that she does with her bird. It's if you want to stand close to her and block and evade the ones that you need to, go for it. But I would say that the safest thing to do on this boss, even if you're not doing it no damage such as I, is to let the attack where it flies at you off the screen happen, and then do your attack there. Going for your ST would be probably the best bet on that. Just triangle or ST. ST would be better probably, even though T would just be a quick way to hit her and get out of there. Just do ST for damage. But you might notice that I've chosen to do I've chosen to use the Hades elements so that I can keep at a distance for her and hit her with the arm as much as I possibly can. The main thing about dealing with her is that after you're trying to do your attacks on her, and watch out for that too. That is a shotgun type of a blast that she does at you, and it's not blockable, and it can take off, I think, 70 to 80% of your health. It's absurd. But other reason why you don't want to stay close to her is, aside from that string of attacks that she does with the bird also can grab you. So there's really no good reason to stand anywhere near her when she's doing her attacks. But when you are moving around, the recovery time, as has been mentioned so many times, is such a long amount of time that putting up your guard to defend yourself against the charge, the Superman flying charge. If you don't think you could put up your block in time, you need to just roll out of the way of it so that it can come to rest, and then you can backtrack and hit her. The other attacks that she does, when she goes up and she says that she will not tolerate this, if you have the voices on, she'll go up into the sky and say that line, and she'll either do the AoEs on the ground, or she will descend and just do the regular Superman charge at you. So a very difficult enemy to keep track of, and you basically do want to use the Hades element to be able to do something from range at her. So here is the transition to the next part of it. She will go to the top of the screen like this, put up a shield around her. You never want to make contact with that shield, because if you make contact with it, you get staggered, and there's a good chance that you can get hit by an AoE that will be blooming underneath you to deal you damage. So you want to roll around, wait patiently until the shield goes away. She does not do any attack when you're underneath her, except for the AoEs. The AoEs is all she does. So you're safe staying underneath her and waiting for her, as long as the AoEs aren't blooming underneath you to attack. So they're harmless at first, but once they've lingered on the ground enough, then they do damage to you. So you need to carefully wait out your time for the shield to drop, and then do your attacks. the 4 square attack is a perfectly good attack to do on her. And then you'll transition into this and you will get a checkpoint, but I think there's a quick time event to do. Possibly 2. The rotation quick time events don't come until the end of this next phase. But fortunately now you do have a checkpoint, and it's going to be a one-armed Magera plus Tessephany and her bird. So Tessephany is going to help Magera do these jumps at you. The first, when Magera gets lifted up, the first attack that she does is that she will kick at you with all her legs, and then she'll follow that up with a slam onto the ground that you need to jump over. You'll get a little slowdown on behalf of your character, and you need to time it so that as she's coming down, you're off of the ground. Otherwise, you take damage. And you want to be close at hand when she lands, because then she has a period of having to recover. And as long as Tessephany is not anywhere around, you can get in a couple of good combos to Magera as she's recuperating, and then as before she gets up. And then it's just combat rolling around the area. You really do need to do the combat roll. If you don't do the combat roll, there's a chance that as you're rolling past these enemies, you're not going to get the startup time for your rolls to get the right amount of clearance and distance yourself from attacks as much as you need to, because that's what it does. When you press square as you're rolling, it cancels some of the animations that take place when you ordinarily recover, and it cancels those out so that you can start another roll more quickly, and that gives you the speed that you need to get out of harm's way. So I've again used the Hades element over here. Hades is a great one to use for the ability to damage them from range. Now, who do you need to focus on over here? Mainly you want to focus on Magera. She's the one that you can safely attack most of the time, and it doesn't matter anyway because Tessephany is going to be the target at the end, and I don't think that any damage that you deal her here has any effect on her HP on the second phase. And you again have to do another phase without a checkpoint. So it's not that bad actually. It's only it's really only having your blades hit the shields of either one of the enemies, because then it's just bad news for you because you stagger and you have to recover, and there's a good chance, since you can't cancel out of that you're gonna get hit. So I don't even use the amulet too much over here. I think I used it a moment ago just to experiment with it, but even if you could get any prolonged time with Magera on the ground, Tessephany has usually got her back, so she's usually coming up to protect her, and it's just never a good idea to do more than one combo. But here we go. This is the transition. Okay, so that phase didn't take too long even with level 1 blades, did it? Okay, so now we have this. Actually, is a fight? No. Oh, it's done. It's done. So now Magera has a shield, and Tessephany is going to go to three points of this area, left, top, and right. It's not random. She does this the same way every time, but you need to make sure that Magera is a close distance away from Tessephany when you go in to hit Tessephany. Because you don't want any of your attacks to get misinterpreted as the game thinking you want to hit Magera in the shield, because hitting that shield is just, like I said, bad news. So you don't need to lure her too far away, but you need to be doing the combat roll to make sure that you don't get stuck in any AoE on the ground, especially after you accidentally. I don't think I ever accidentally hit Magera over here. It might be, but usually that's a death sentence for me personally, because I get hit from it. Something will hit me. But it's the same story as before, even earlier. Remember when, except that now Tessephany does not have a shield around her. She's given the shield to Magera. So when you've dealt her enough damage, she will move to another point on the compass over here, so to speak. So now she's at the right. And it would be nice if they gave you a checkpoint over here, and it's something to watch out for too when she does. When they do the quick time events on you at the end, there's one rotation and then there's another one that follows, and I think they're sandwiched in between some other like random buttons. Okay, so I did see that. My blades came into contact with Magera's shield, and I got staggered, and I barely got out of the way over there because she was attacking me then too. She took that opportunity to attack me. So we have to look out for that. But together, we'll see at the end when these quick time events take place. I do know that there are 2 of them, and I do know that if you fail on them, you have to start at the beginning of a 2-phase fight. So it's really sad when you lose those. And some people, they might not even have a problem with the quick time events ever. You know, when they see something, they're very quick to respond to it. But the rotation is used hardly ever in this game, so it's a kind of a surprise when you see it at first. Over here, in fact, I think this fight and the final boss fight later, even after, I mean, talking post final boss, there might never be another rotation that you have to do. So it could surprise you and kind of put you in a deer in headlights sort of perspective. So you do need to be careful of that. And I don't know for sure if that rotation is the same one every time. If I got down into the left twice, but something tells me that they don't switch it on you. It's the same every time. So I could check. You can check other videos and see. You can compare. But I think pretty much it's the same. So as I said, we could check it together. She should be going down pretty soon over here. And just have patience. This is primarily about patience. It isn't that difficult. And all my attempts over here to not get damaged, I never failed. I have failed before, but since, like I said, this is a redux of a redux of a redux or something like that, I've gone through this no upgrade run plus cycle a lot, and I know how to stay safe in this game. And I'm trying to impart that to you too, how to stay safe. So she should almost be going down. I really wouldn't recommend aerial T's on these phases. It's a little bit too risky, but here she is right now. Let's see what we've got for quick time events. We have, I think this is a swipe coming up. It's a swipe. No? Okay, it's 1 random button press, 2 random button presses. Okay, 2 random button presses, and then a swipe. I know it's a swipe. So 2 random button presses, a swipe, and then I believe it's another swipe. I thought they were at the ends of random button presses in the middle, but we can see, and maybe there was only 1 swipe. No, I remember there being 2 over here. Yeah, so it's up and to the right like that, or to the left, or whatever it was. So be careful. Be careful on that. 2 random button presses and then 2 swipes that are different when you do them in the sequence of the game, but they could be different on resets. But it's I don't think I think it's set in stone. You get them whenever you get them like that. So I just don't enjoy any part of that boss fight. But there, we've done it. No damage. I hope that helped you out. I will see you in the resumption of the campaign post these bosses. In the meantime, please take care.